Hi herbivores and welcome back to Rar's Aisha. Today I made sushi. If you know me, you know that I've worked in sushi restaurants in the past, not as a sushi maker, but as a server. So I know a decent amount about sushi. I had to memorize all the Japanese names for different kinds of fish and stuff, so I'm really passionate about it. I love sushi. It was something that grew on me pretty fast. But let's be honest, there's no real great vegan sushi around. It's just not available yet. I made it for my dad and we weren't expecting to finish all of it, but we finished it without even trying. It was so good. So let's jump into the recipe and I'll show you exactly which rolls I made and how I made it. So I ended up making 3 rolls. One was kind of like a mock Philadelphia roll. I made a spicy tuna roll and a dragon roll. So we're gonna start off by making a dragon roll, which I used to love pre-vegan. And if you're like me and love unagi.
Unagi.
Isn't that a kind of sushi?
No, it's a concept.
Yeah, it is. It's freshwater eel.
I actually made an unagi with eggplant and you cannot tell the difference. So to make the marinade for the eggplant, we're gonna start with 1 teaspoon of grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of light miso paste. Then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And with that, we're also gonna add 2 tablespoons of agave. And we're gonna mix that all together. Now we're gonna pull out a sheet pan and top it with some parchment paper so the eggplant doesn't stick. And you wanna cut the eggplant very thin like. They say to use a Madeleine, but I don't have a Madeleine, so I had to do the best that I could freehand, but it worked out pretty nicely. And yes, I'm using a makeup brush as a pastry brush, and it works very well, thank you very much. So we're gonna take this beautiful marinade and we're gonna put it on top of the eggplant and toss it into the oven for 15 minutes at 375 degrees. Halfway we're gonna flip it, add more marinade, but I didn't show you guys that, and this is the finished product. It doesn't look like much, but believe me, it's delicious. Now let's start the spicy tuna. So we're gonna take some tomatoes. I took 2 tomatoes, and we're gonna make a little cross at like the little butt area. And the idea is we're gonna toss this into boiling water and you're gonna know it's done when the skin starts coming off. And it's easy to tell when the skin's coming off when there's a little slit at the end. And I also took off the top part of the tomato because we're not gonna need it. And I just waited for the water to come to a boil. But I also made sure that I had a bowl of ice water waiting, because once it's done boiling, you want to take the tomatoes out and stop cooking it immediately. And the way to do that is putting them in ice cold water. So we have our water boiling, perfect time to add the tomatoes. And you just have to keep an eye on it. It doesn't take very long for the skin to start coming off. And there's my ice water I have on the side, waiting for the tomatoes to come out. We're gonna toss that into the ice water, stop the cooking. So now we have the marinade here for the spicy tuna, which we're gonna be using tomato as the tuna. 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/2 tablespoon of nori flakes, 1/2 tablespoon of minced ginger, 1/2 tablespoon of sriracha, 1/2 tablespoon of sesame oil, and mix that all together. And with the mixture on the side, we're gonna start cutting up our tomatoes. So here are the cooked tomatoes all ready to be cut up. And you just peel off the skin. It's very easy once it's cooled down. And we're gonna just take out all the seeds and dice up these tomatoes. You don't want any of the pulp in it, so just make sure you get all of the seeds and I guess non-firm part of the tomato into the trash, and then dice up the tomato. And you want to use a bowl with a lid for this because we're going to shake it up. lid here. And then I put it in the fridge until I was ready. And here's my little sushi making station. So I had some cucumber, carrots, green onion, avocado, and our beautiful eggplant. And I have some rice that I cooked and just tossed it with some rice vinegar. And my nori sheets are a little bit old. They were fine, they tasted fine, but they were a little crumpled, so I had to make sure they were flat before adding the rice on. And the rice can be very sticky, so a trick that I learned from working at the sushi restaurants, some of the chefs would use oil and rub it on their hands to make sure the sushi rice wouldn't stick to their hands. And that worked pretty well. Just make sure you cover as much of the surface area as you can. You're gonna pull out the spicy tuna, give it another little stir before flipping the sushi over so the rice is on the bottom. I also added some green onions to the mixture just to make it taste a little bit more fresh. I've had spicy tuna rolls where they added green onion and it was amazing. So we're gonna add some avocado in the middle, a little bit of cucumber, some carrots, and our spicy tuna mixture. And now rolling it. I do not have a rolling mat, so the easiest thing to do if you don't have a rolling mat is use some saran wrap and kind of use that to mold it into the shape that you want. And make sure everything's nice and compressed. It's also easier to cut it when the saran wrap's on it, so don't be afraid to do that as well, but you can also put some oil on the knife and slice it like this. Now let's transfer that to a plate, make it all pretty for presentation. And then let's go on to making our dragon roll. But first, let's appreciate this beautiful, little messy looking spicy tuna roll. Don't worry, we're gonna make it look pretty later. So let's start with our dragon roll. We're gonna add some more rice, some avocado in the middle. And then I have these crispy jalapenos, which I'm gonna use to replace the tempura in the middle. Have so many kinds of fried vegetables like this. There's not just jalapenos, they have red peppers, they have onions. So go ahead, go to your produce aisle and check them out, because I haven't had one of these like salad toppers that weren't amazing. I love jalapenos, I love spice. So this was obviously a natural thing to put the jalapenos in there. That's what I had. And we're gonna add some of our unagi, our eggplant unagi. I also took off some of the burnt pieces because we want all the melty goodness of the eggplant. The crispiness of it would just throw it off. And then I added a little bit more avocado on top. Don't be intimidated of adding more toppings on top. It doesn't make it any harder to roll. We just use the saran wrap again to kind of mold everything down and keep it into one piece. And then I also kept the saran wrap on for this one just so the toppings wouldn't fall off, and it worked out really well. And from here, it looks like a real unagi roll, like it's crazy. And then move on to our last roll. I didn't make enough sushi rice, but I had some frozen brown rice from Trader Joe's that I just warmed up in the microwave and tossed in some of that rice vinegar, and it worked just as well. I definitely recommend it. A little bit healthier, but honestly not too much of a difference taste-wise. So I let that cool down a little bit. You don't want to handle hot rice, believe me. So I'm gonna make a sauce for the spicy tuna roll. I'm just gonna toss some sriracha into a Ziploc bag with some mayo, of course vegan mayo, and use the bag to kind of mix it together. And then we're gonna just cut off the tip and drizzle it all over our spicy tuna roll. Delicious. I want some more. I also had some sesame seeds, which I used to top both the sushi rolls, and then let's move on to our last roll that we're using the brown rice for. I actually found the brown rice stuck a little bit better than the white rice. I don't know if that was just something that I did, maybe I overcooked the white rice, but I liked it a lot better. Now I'm using some vegan cream cheese to kind of make this mock Philadelphia roll. Of course, I don't have any smoked salmon, but I'm going to be making some on this channel soon, so keep an eye out for that. But I did use some of that spicy tuna mixture with the cream cheese. I left the cream cheese out a little bit too long and it was melting, but it still worked out. Added some carrots and then rolled that baby up. I also added more of that unagi because I had so much left, so I wanted to use it. And honestly, it enhances any sushi roll, so worked out perfectly. I'm gonna add our last roll to our plate here. And now let's see the final product. I am so proud of how pretty it looks. Doesn't it look beautiful? It does look a little bit messy, but I am pretty proud of myself. I haven't made sushi for years, and for it to come out this good looking and this delicious, and for being vegan, I was blown away. It does take a little bit of effort. It took me about, the whole process took me maybe like an hour and a half, but I think this would be a great idea for like a party to do with friends or your family. Just have everyone make their own rolls. Just have like the little sushi making station and invite people over. I really want to do that. When I do it though, I'm going to film it and show you guys, because I think this would be an awesome dinner idea for inviting friends over, or even like a nice family time to do together. So let me know what you guys think of this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos. Let me know, what is your favorite sushi down in the comments. Mine is definitely, it's something called a zigzag roll. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.